Let me let you in on a secret, Katie. People don't like nasty, vile, ugly people. People don't like people who find comfort in other people's misery. People just don't like you because you don't like yourself. Because if you liked yourself, you would not be attacking everyone on social media. From your living room, by the way, which has a bad sofa and bad throw pillows and looks ratchet. But regardless of that, and I'm doing better than you, and I'm negative $5 million. Remember that.
Hello, my gorgeous people, and welcome back to my channel. Late yesterday evening, a new Chrisley Confessions podcast aired, and y'all, was it spicy. Todd Chrisley had a lot to say, and he did so in true Todd Chrisley fashion, full of so much sass, but only spitting out facts. We're going to go ahead and roll the clip, and then come back here to talk about it.
We can talk about Katie Joy now.
Oh my gosh.
Now, folks, everyone that listens to this podcast knows that this vile human being who makes up nothing but lies just again for clickbait. You know, she does it for clickbait because, you know, she's trying to make a living, and I don't fault people for trying to make a living. But I mean, the things that this woman makes up and the lies that she tells are just crazy. But now I guess she's going after this woman, you know, she's going after someone else, and it's on that Sister Wives or something. And so Katie Joy posts, because now she wants sympathy, folks. She doesn't understand why people call some agency, I guess Child Protective Services or something, you know, on her all the time. She doesn't understand why the police come to her house all the time. She doesn't understand why people dislike her so much. She doesn't understand why people on Twitter are so mean to her. Let me let you in on a secret, Katie. People don't like nasty, vile, ugly people. People don't like people who find comfort in other people's misery. People just don't like you because you don't like yourself. Because if you liked yourself, you would not be attacking everyone on social media. From your living room, by the way, which has a bad sofa and bad throw pillows and looks ratchet. But regardless of that, and I'm doing better than you, and I'm negative $5 million. Remember that. But with that being said, she's now crying, saying, Mary Brown's fans are currently encouraging her to sue me. They're falsely claiming that I'm being sued by multiple people. Katie, honey, learn to count. Multiple is anything past one. You are being sued by multiple people. There are two women that are currently getting ready to file defamation suits against you that your attorney reached out to their attorney trying to get them to settle with you for an NDA, and you would never talk about them again. That's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. They're suing you for defamation. Yes, I know. I've got the inside track. Unlike Katie, I do have the inside track. And you are going to be sued by those two people. And you're already being sued by a guy named Steve. That's 3. And the mother of all lawsuits is getting ready to land on your attorney Graham's desk by my attorneys, who I retained in Minnesota to come after you for multiple claims of defamation. So now this means that in this lawsuit, folks, we get to request tax returns. We get to request bank accounts. We get to request and subpoena YouTube for how much she's made off of YouTube. We get to compare that to how much she has shown on her taxes. We get to put everything that comes from this lawsuit. Keep in mind, folks, Katie claims that she gets everything she reports about me from public record, or the video that she did saying she'd been on the phone with Lindsay Chrisley Campbell for all day, where she was giving her all this information about me and the rest of the family. And she was just trying to figure out, it was so much, she was trying to figure out how she was going to organize her thoughts and get the information to you. Now, folks, remember, we're in the midst of depositions with this whole Georgia Department of Revenue stuff right now. So we've now had successfully 4 depositions. One of those depositions is my oldest daughter, Lindsay, who I understand does not wish for me to refer to her as that, so I'll refer to her as Lindsay. Lindsay has now been deposed, and in Lindsay's deposition, the question was asked, did you ever share personal information about your father, Todd Chrisley, or the rest of the family with Katie Joy Paulson? No, I did not. Now, folks, here's the issue. That was either a lie or Katie Joy Paulson lied. Either way, we're going to find out who the person was that lied. And that's going to be found out in deposition and through the subpoenaing of records. Now, Katie has been placed on a spoliation notice. She knows that she's not supposed to delete things. We have been sent information that she has. We're going to vet that out. And if she has, we will ask the court to bring sanctions against her. But going back to her statement that she has posted that they are falsely claiming that I'm being sued by multiple people. You are. They're also falsely claiming I lost lawsuits. I'm merely speaking about a docuseries and the reports of LuLaRoe's lawsuits. No, you're not. Anyone else can see what you're doing. You're trying to destroy someone else's livelihood, the same thing that you complain that everyone else is doing to you.
It's official, y'all. And according to Todd Chrisley over on Twitter, he said it's official. The race is on and litigation begins with KJ and without a crystal ball. Her attorney has been noticed and my suit's being drafted as we speak. I hope this answers everyone's questions. We'll send copies to Mary. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mary Brown is one of the sister wives from the hit show, but she also works for a company called LuLaRoe. Recently, a documentary has came out talking about how LuLaRoe is a pyramid scheme and how it's really scammed a lot of folks. Of course, Katie Joy has been talking about this over on her channel, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with, but as you can see from the thumbnail, she circulated this conversation around the fact that Mary Brown works with LuLaRoe. Mary Brown did not take lightly to this at all, and of course she's upset about it. You guys have to remember, this is her livelihood. This is her business, and it's exactly what has made her more independent throughout the years. So Todd Chrisley stating that he's going to send copies of these documents to Mary Brown definitely makes me curious if Mary Brown is about to sue Katie Joy for defamation as well. Of course, that is just speculation at this point, you guys, but I would not be surprised, not in the slightest.
Now, I'm going to be posting an email address on my Twitter because you people are blowing me up on social media and I cannot keep up with all of it. So I'm setting up an email address that my attorneys will have access to where all of this information that you guys are sending, you will now send it to this email address. And for any person that's ever had any issues with Katie Joy, that she has falsely accused you of things or that she's tried to intimidate you by using the system to file false TROs against you, by making up claims that are not true. I mean, folks, the things that we have all the way from detectives to police officers to fellow YouTubers to just plain citizens of the United States of America that this woman has gone after is baffling. And all of these people are reaching out to us. So if she goes on her Twitter and she goes on her Instagram, which I'm not going to pollute mine with all of that mess, and says that she doesn't have these lawsuits. Well, technically she doesn't right now because they're in the process of being drafted. But her attorney has been, she sent out this blanket thing of, I don't know, her attorney, Graham someone, sent out this stuff about that to all these people, trying to get them to shut up. That's basically all that it was trying to scare people into not speaking anymore. Well, that didn't work. It's just a long letter that I'm not going to get into, but basically my attorney, in a polite but very straightforward way, educated this attorney and told him that basically he didn't know what the hell he was sending me, that I had no obligations to hold on to communications with someone that I've never had communications with in the last 5 years, don't even know these people, never met them. Just because someone sends me information through my attorney, I think that falls under attorney-client privilege because it doesn't come to me. But at any rate, my attorney did educate him, and now, he now knows, your attorney, Katie, now knows that I'm represented by two of the best in your state. And they have been charged with filing a massive lawsuit, because I love how you talk about you have assembled your team. Your team doesn't even want to be your team.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Your attorneys don't want to represent you. Surely to God, these attorneys have enough sense to see the derangement that comes out of your mouth and the things that you say and do with YouTube. We are filing our complaints with YouTube. We're going to subpoena all the records from YouTube. We're going to get all of the revenue that she's generated, and we're going to show the spikes when she used our name to generate that revenue so that we can form a basis of how much we're going to come after her for. But we're going to file a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against her for damages to reputation. The things that this woman says about people, she can't even prove. And here's the thing about slander. It's not slander if it's the truth. You cannot prove that what you've posted is the truth or that what you've said is the truth. So, and the beautiful thing is that we're now trying to move this to a class action status. We're up to 7 people now. We would like to get to 12. And if that happens, then I will fund this litigation and we will move it forward in a class action style. If we don't get to that number, I will focus on my damages and let the other 4 or 5 people that's going to file their suits file their suit.
Y'all, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. 7 people they have already, and they're trying to get to 12 so they can put this in as a class action lawsuit. How in the world is Katie not standing on her head? I do have to give this to her, you guys. For someone who is being sued tremendously, she still remains so cocky and so confident. Now, some may call that stupidity. And you know what? I'm not even going to argue the fact. But either way, it's absolutely remarkable. We have been talking about all of these lawsuits for the last month or so now, and now that things are really starting to kick off and litigation is going forward, it really is something else. I have a gut feeling this is going to be nothing like the Tati Westbrook lawsuit, you guys. This is going to be pure madness. And I honestly did not think anything could top that lawsuit. We all know there was a lot of drama and a lot of crazy stuff going on in that lawsuit, but I do feel like this one is going to be 10 times worse. When it comes to Stephen McRae's lawsuit, as you guys probably know, he is suing Katie Joy for defamation, and Katie is countersuing. A lot of that is happening behind the scenes, out of the public eye, which honestly I can appreciate because I'm sure that's a whole mess on its own. But either way, according to what Todd Chrisley is stating here in his podcast, things are just revving up, and this isn't even the half of it. Now he has this email that he's making for the public to send them information about Katie Joy. Anyone who feels like they have been wronged by her, y'all, that email is gonna be loaded. I have to know what you guys think of all of this. Please leave all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you believe that Todd Chrisley will be able to get this lawsuit to a class action status and actually take the win? Or do you think that none of this is going to hold up in court and Katie Joy will continue doing what she does? If you want to stay in the loop with everything going on with all of these lawsuits, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and tapping the bell for post notifications. That way you're notified every single time I upload. I appreciate every single one of you to the moon and stars, and until the next time, mwah, bye.